Beth, I'm starving.
Oh my God, me too.
It's the morning and I haven't eaten anything.
I just had one slice of toast from Costa. Costa do the best toast in the world.
No, disagree. But when you have a baby, you get given toast in the hospital, and that's the greatest meal you'll ever eat.
Really?
Yeah, I never believed anybody when they told me prior to that, and then I literally put it in my mouth, and I was like, "Oh."
Is it because you just pushed a?
It could be.
Tried out your
that probably has something to do with it.
Your hum.
Brian also brought me a really dirty fried breakfast in a polystyrene tub.
That is honestly that is the worst thing. Like that makes me feel sick.
No, I promise you, I will do the same thing for you when you have a baby.
Polystyrene makes me feel sick.
It was delicious. It was top tier. But
and I'm not a kebab kind of gal either.
I've never tried a kebab.
Dirty kebab van. I've never been to a dirty kebab van.
I've never had a kebab. I'm now vegetarian, but I've never had a kebab prior, so I'm never going to try one. That's like a life fact, that.
Anyway, on the topic of food,
should we do a whole episode on it?
Let's do it.
Okay, so that sounds like we should have done the intro there. Never mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and welcome
the Unfiltered Bride Podcast. Tips from the top table and beyond.
So you know it's going to be juicy.
This podcast has been sponsored by the wonderful Crafty Lab. Unless you've been living under a rock, you'll know that I got married last year, and these guys created one of my favourite elements of the wedding.
Oh, I love them. These were your newspapers, weren't they?
Yes. So we used them as a little guide to the day for guests. So we included order of the day, crossword, bridal party names, our love story, QR codes for image sharing, Spotify playlist link, and believe it or not, more things. It was so personal, and you know that I love a bit of personality in a wedding.
They're professionally designed for each couple, so it's not just a template that someone else will have. Each couple gets a truly unique newspaper. They don't print until you're 100% happy to, so even for you type A brides, you'll love them.
They have amazing customer service. They really cared and went above and beyond to make sure that we were happy, which we were. A small business with a big heart.
You can have them anywhere and everywhere, and you even had them in the taxis on the way to the ceremony and dotted around the venue. But I've also seen them on ceremony chairs, wedding breakfast tables, and in accommodation. And at 89p a copy, why wouldn't you?
So head to thecraftylab.co.uk to secure your spot in their order book. But be quick, there are limited slots for each month, and once they're gone, they're gone.
So get them booked. You definitely don't want to miss out. If you're wanting to find out more, we've popped their details in the description below.
So I want to talk about what food you need to have, the best kind of food, when you have to have food, how to save money on food, whether you should be pleasing people, like all of those sort of things. So we'll start with what food is essential and when.
Canapes.
I love a canapé.
I think they are essential. Like, people are like, oh, we won't do canapes. Canapes are essential. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Again, it's that, like we spoke about in another episode, it's that awkward timing of you're getting married at 1, people have left, they've had their breakfast, they're in that lull period. If you're doing speeches first.
Yeah, you can't do speeches first.
Yeah.
If you haven't had canapes, you cannot do speeches first.
I'm not against not doing a starter for canapes if you want to save money.
100%.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But for me, I think canapé starter, main dessert.
But how do you feel about
food?
Canapes that, you know, when people say I didn't get any canapes because I wasn't stood near the door, because I'm the person that's standing near the door.
Well, that's a you problem, hun. If you want canapes, you stand by that kitchen door.
Yeah, but do you want people to be doing that on your wedding?
I don't care. I'll be out having photos.
True.
But I think enough canapes. I think if you're going to do canapes,
you can't do 2 per person.
You can't do 2 per person, because I will eat 2 for everybody.
I will have 10.
I think it's like substantial canapes is something that people don't feel like they need to stand at the door or be like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it when the canapes start coming back to the kitchen because everybody said no to them, which is great. You want that.
That means they've been well catered for.
We've talked about this before, but my canapes were on a station, like a graze board, which actually was really good. I'm really glad I did that. Yeah. Mainly, we had to, but mainly because it just meant then people could go and get it themselves. They could go back and pick it. There were bread, like it was stodgy enough food that it would feel like you've had something to eat.
Yeah, and there was food left.
Yes.
And me and Jack went up about 10 times.
That's fine.
But before, when you said it, I was like, no, buffet. Buffet. You're not having a buffet.
The word buffet. Oh, God, my voice even went. The word buffet
Ick.
shouldn't be used at a wedding.
Ick.
Although I fucking love a beige buffet.
Beige buffets are
Nothing
my favourite.
better.
You know when you have like around Christmas you always have just like leftover. Like beige buffets are my goddamn favourite.
But it is a wedding.
But food stations. Let's call them food stations.
I like the word graze. I like a graze. So we had a graze station throughout the whole of the canapes time.
So it's stations, not buffets.
Yes.
Just like theme and style
and vibe
and vibe for all of you little haters that keep coming at me for that, saying every event needs a theme. Someone commented, every event needs a theme. That's just poor event management. I was just like, wow.
To be fair, you're not the event manager.
And
you're
then
the stylist.
someone said to me as well, they're like, someone commented something horrible as well. So shout out to you. Thanks for boosting our engagement. I replied and I was just like, I'm a multi-award winning wedding stylist. Ooh. And they were like, so obnoxious. And I was like, no, it just shows what I'm doing works and my processes work. You don't have to agree with it.
Yeah.
Thanks for your irrelevant opinion, just like mine's irrelevant to you. Don't come at me. Like, be nice. If you want me to keep doing this podcast, I can't go home and cry. To be fair, I just had a call with a client and she was saying, she was like, I actually love everything you said. She was like, you are perfect for me. And I was like, that's exactly why I say it.
Yeah.
Well, there's different types you little of haters. People. Go and book.
Mate, you overthink the haters.
Go and book your little hire company who are going to sell you purple, pink, blue and green all in one go. You're not for me. Anyway.
Okay, so we like the food station.
Yeah, food stations are good.
Are you okay, hun?
Yeah, I'm good.
Everything all right at home?
No, I'm moving house and it's the most stressful thing in the world. I don't know how people move house, get married and have kids.
Everybody I speak to is either getting married and then they also do one of three things: move house, get pregnant, or get a puppy.
Oh,
like what are you doing?
What?
Wait, just wait.
What are you doing that for?
What are you doing? So anyway, I agree with your point about not having a starter. If somebody asked me, I would say always get rid of the starter to have something in that pre-bit. Do what I did. I didn't have a starter. We used that. We said whatever food you were using for the starter, put all together onto a big graze station. Worked much better in my opinion. It also meant we had little personalised tubs for people to put there.
Yeah,
tub. I don't know the word tub.
The only other thing that gives me the ick about buffets, graze station, food station is like paper plates. Paper plates and...
But then you also don't want china because it's a ball ache.
No, I agree. But when it's just like left around and there's no one clearing it, that bothers me. So it feels like a kid's party
again. Is it
again.
that you don't like paper plates or is it that you don't like them being left around?
I would say if you're going to do paper plates, do bamboo plates.
Agreed.
Better for the environment. Look better.
Agree.
So bamboo plates and like, again, depending on the vibe of the wedding.
Yeah.
It needs to match. You can't whack out a paper plate if you're doing a food station.
No, I agree. So we had, how do I describe them? They were like little, so me and Brian had an argument about what to have on this table because I saw on Pinterest, they're like little pots. They're like McDonald's chip pots.
You had them?
Yeah, but they were brown.
And branded.
And I then put stickers on with the logo and it said, I'm only here for food.
What did Brian want?
So then we did both. So Brian wanted more plate. They weren't plate. They were like rectangular with like raised sides.
They're like little boats.
It was like boats. And he was like, I would want to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, but what if you've only got one hand, you want the tub? So I was like, we'll just do both. So we did both.
Do you want to know what I used?
What did you use? Your hands?
Yes.
What'd you go for?
The boats.
Damn it, right. Well, that's okay, because that's why we went for both. Because I've seen some pictures. Because I've seen other people do the tubs and they've already pre-made.
Pre-done grazing tubs, yeah.
Which I think looks really cute. So you just need staff to then do that. But I totally agree with your point on having it cleared. 100%. It is not expensive to have a staff member who is purely there to clean up stuff.
They're like a runner, aren't they, for the day?
Walking around constantly, getting rid of bottles, plates. Like, there's no point spending all this money and then just having shit everywhere. So if anybody has me coordinating, I can always bring a staff member.
And also that is a good point to mention bins.
Bins. We love a bin. Put bins out. Most guests are actually quite tidy.
I wouldn't put bins out at my
You have
wedding.
to put bins out.
I would not put a bin out at my wedding.
If you're getting married what are you picturing as a bin though? I don't just mean tie-in
black bin.
Yeah, but you got to put them in the right places.
No, hun.
Yes, hun.
Bins belong back a house.
What if you're in a marquee? There is no back of house.
There is. You need a you need a food tent.
No, because it gets messy and dirty, and there's nothing worse than as a guest walking around with this fucking little toothpick thing in your hand that you've eaten the canapé off, and you're like, what am I supposed to do with this? People like to be
walk around
tidy.
with a tray who
You can't be
that?
walking around constantly. Like, can I take that toothpick?
Let me tell you now, bins at a wedding are a fucking no-no.
Okay, so on a styling point, no bins. On a logistics point, bins. So you decide where you want to sit
back
within
a house.
that. Can't in a marquee. Anyway,
You can.
No, you have
tent.
to, because people stand there with a bottle and they're like, they just then start giving it to people. And the amount of people that give me a bottle and I'm like, okay, thank you.
Sorry, and that's your job, bottle collector.
It's not on the list. It is, to be fair.
But that's why you need staff members who walk around and collect and do that.
I do agree.
Yeah. Or I'm not against, you know, when you do like the beer buckets,
yeah,
you could have like an empties beer bucket.
Okay, let's compromise on that. I just think attractive looking bins.
That's not a bin. That's a disposable unit.
Okay. No bins at weddings, guys. Pretty disposable units.
Yes.
Fine. Carry on. So we've got canapes. What about...
I'm actually horrified you said that.
You have to have I'm going to take a picture at the next wedding I do when there's not a bin and look for the shit.
I get you need bins, but I'm just picturing a fucking wheelie bin in the middle.
Right. Well, when have I ever put a wheelie bin out mid-ceremony? Hold on, sorry. Can I
coming down the aisle?
Confetti cones. That's the other thing. At the end, you know when people have confetti cones or bags, don't have anything.
Baskets.
Handful. I don't want to pick up loads of confetti bags off the floor because people throw it and then they throw the bag at you because they're idiots.
I think they are cute, like, because some people want to put them in their flat lay. So just buy one for your flat lay and give it to your photographer. A box of stuff that you want.
Yeah.
Put on your... For those of you who don't know what a flat lay is
over to me, or will you go?
You
for
can
it?
go.
Okay.
I had a hair in my mouth, so I stopped.
Flat lay is items from your wedding. For example, jewelry, veil, flowers,
shoes,
invitations,
perfume,
shoes, all of that sort of stuff that you lay flat for the photographer to take a picture from above. It's a nice little memory thing to have. Why do we do flat lay? Oh, okay, confetti cones, blah blah blah. That's nothing to do with food, but good point for the disposable units that you'll be having
for the green bins.
What do you feel about?
What do I feel, or how do I feel?
Both. About like breakfast and things morning of the wedding. Who should you be catering for?
So bridal party. So if you're getting ready.
Yeah.
So if you're getting ready.
The amount of food I see wasted at those.
And none of the girls want to eat.
No, but you have to. You have to eat
have
something.
To eat, yeah.
Don't faint mid-aisle.
Those. And then if it's not used, I'd ask your coordinator to box it up.
To eat it.
And put it in their bedrooms for the next morning.
Yeah, but you're not always allowed.
Oh, because of the meats and stuff. Yeah. If it was like fruit and pastries.
Yeah. I would just...
They'd be great when I get into my room and I...
Yeah, true. I would maybe just order a little bit less than people that you've got. I don't normally recommend that, but you're not all going to be ramming food in.
I never, ever recommend... Everyone's like, I'm just going to do 50%. No.
What for, morning or...
No, for like with food ratios. Everyone's like, I'm just going to cater 50%. No one will eat it.
No.
Like, there is nothing worse than running out of food.
Yeah.
You want nothing worse.
You want more, but not like upsettingly more.
Yeah.
Like,
not where you're like, oh, that hurts my bank account.
Yeah.
You're throwing a sausage away and you're like, £1, £2,
£3.
£3. Oh, that bit of bread, 50p.
Okay, so morning, definitely feed the people that are there getting ready.
So the boys and the girls.
Boys and the girls. I also
the girls
think,
and the girls, the boys and the boys.
What do you think about suppliers? In terms of morning?
No.
Just talk about morning. No?
I think suppliers, no.
I think if there's stuff there, it should be said, help yourself. Like the amount of times I get told, help yourself
hair
to
and
food.
makeup, yeah.
I don't.
I'm thinking on more.
Oh, no, I'm thinking hair and makeup that are in that room.
Yeah, I think it should be like, help yourselves.
Fine. It's all pastries and stuff like that.
I'm not being funny. Your hair and makeup artists are absolute troopers.
They're up at like so early.
They're up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, travel to you, do that, like feed them.
I agree.
They might not want it, though. But like have enough.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to want to put their fingers in sticky pastry.
We will come back onto supplier meals later though for that bit. So we've done morning. How do you feel about lunch? Say if it's a 2 p.m. ceremony, would you then want lunch as people getting ready?
No.
I say no to.
Brunch.
Yeah, agreed.
We're brunching.
Okay, brunching before the ceremony. Then we've done the ceremony. Then we've got our canapes / graze.
And can I add that?
Yeah.
That's really important that, if you've got a 2 p.m. ceremony,
yeah,
that's when I think you need a food station, a grazing board, something substantial.
Yes.
Because you're asking pretty much your guests to go from breakfast to dinner with nothing in between.
Yes. And dinner, the other tip for weddings is that timings are not a normal day. The typical time for a wedding breakfast is 5 p.m. People don't eat at 5 p.m.
Yep.
So it's kind of lunch, it's kind of dinner. You just ignore.
What's lunch and dinner put together? Dinner.
Dunch.
Dunch. I like that. We're dunching.
We're dunching. A wedding dunch is at a weird time, which also then will lead us on to the evening food part. But so yes to something substantial after the ceremony, because that is kind of lunch.
Yeah.
I would call your canapes lunch.
Yes, especially for the later ceremonies.
Yes. So then we're going in and we're sitting down and we're having what do you want? Do you want 3 courses? Is that essential?
I always love a bread roll.
Oh, yes.
Always. However,
Yes.
I have to point out there.
Go on.
Bread roll side plates are ick. They're vile.
Agree.
So what we say is if you have our charger plates, you are more than welcome to have the bread, like eat the bread off them if you really want to.
Yep.
Not an issue.
Okay. But you've normally got like the stuff on it.
Yes, but if you've got a normal size table, let's say 5'5" table,
Yeah.
you've got 10 guests.
Yeah.
We are at max capacity
Yeah.
for charger plates. You cannot fit anything else on. So what I'd then say is put your bread plate either on the charger plate and the napkin and the menu and stuff on top.
Fair. Good
just
point.
like I've got this setup in front of me. But people
For the
always,
audio listeners, that was perfect.
people always put it on the side and we just don't have the room to do it.
Yeah.
And then people don't order bread knives and the venues get really annoyed about that. But I personally think just use your bloody starter knife.
I know, I agree.
No one wants to pay
Well-
extra for a bread knife because again, I've got to then find a space for it.
Yes.
My tables are so limited.
Yes. So from a logisticy catering side, you wouldn't get a bread roll and a side plate and additional cutlery if you don't have a starter.
Yeah.
So you'd have to, if you're having a main course and dessert, you would have to say to them, we want to add bread,
Mhm.
which I imagine might be a charge, but you then do need cutlery, crockery for it and space to then put it on there. And then also, do you want the bread roll going onto the table when they take the photos? Do you want to take a photo of the room before they put the bread on? Like it's all these little
Always
bits.
take room shots before any bread, water, wine, anything is on the table. Please, thank you, goodbye, XOXO.
But
Beth.
my other thing with
Don't
that
start.
No, I'm agreeing. I wholeheartedly agree.
Kids packs off,
But
everything
yeah, I
off.
agree. But the candles need to be lit, and they're normally done last minute.
Candles need to be litty.
I have lit candles on a table before for the photographer to get that shot, and then we blow them out and then light them later.
Yeah.
Depends on the candles. Depends on how long they burn.
Basically, get yourself a really good coordinator who will light the whole room, then blow the whole room out, and then relight.
I ask every couple, like, what's the most important thing to them? If they say it's the looks of everything, I will spend more time sorting that bit out.
Mm-hmm.
If it is food, I'll be outside making sure that they've got canapes. Like, you just need to put things.
Also,
put me where you want me.
very key point, make sure someone sets aside you some food. Always.
I was shocked at how little food I ate on my wedding day. Not because people didn't give it me, but because I like food. I eat food. I'm not a size 8, despite how I look. But I just didn't. I was so excited, or whatever was happening, that I just didn't eat.
Yeah.
And I'm sad now because I wish I
The food
did.
was back. The food was like, the food and drink at your wedding was such a key part.
Thanks.
Like, we had like donut vans, pizza stations, grazing boards, interactive food for the, like, so much food. Like the donuts they bagged up and put like on the dance floor, and I took them home and had one in bed the next morning.
We wanted there to be. Somebody made a really good point. I can't remember if it was on one of our DMs or on my Instagram or whatever, where they said, because I was asking about a free bar, and they made a really good point that your guests can buy themselves drinks, but they can't go and get themselves more food. And I was like, oh my God, I'd never thought about it like that. If you're hungry, you can't. There's nothing you can do. You can't go and buy something.
Yeah, there's nothing worse. Or if there is, people go after the shop and and they've got like a bag of quavers, and you're like, where the hell did you get that from? And
How
everyone's
do you
like,
feel
"I
about
want
crisp
quavers."
balls?
Crisp balls. I love Chris. I fucking love Chris. Like, if Jack had his way, he'd have prawn cocktail crisps in bowls. Like, literally. Like, I love crisps,
But
for the vibe I'm going for,
Fair.
it doesn't go with.
I've seen crisp balls, and actually the one that I did, it fit in really nicely.
Yeah, sometimes
So-
it can fit, like, if like some people do literally like festival theme.
Yes.
Great, not
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
But if you're going luxe bougie, you can't.
Yeah.
Can't
I think
wax them
matching the food to the
skips
vibe.
out.
I love skips.
Okay, name your top 3 crisps.
I really like the barbecue pop chips.
Boring. Next.
No, they're not.
Next.
Skips.
Yeah.
The big pack as well.
Yeah.
I like a what's it, but they're too messy for me, and they just sit stuck in my teeth for too long. So I'm probably gonna have to go for
TikTok.
Pringles, barbecue Pringles.
Oh yeah.
I just don't like how it makes you feel when you have to try and get your hand in, and then I'm like, I'm such a fat bitch.
Just a fat
my
bitch.
hand's stuck.
Just gotta get to the more in there.
When you can't get to the bottom, that's knowing you shouldn't be eating the crisps anymore. What's your top 3? Go.
I love smelly crisps. So like I'm like they're called like, I don't know what they're called. They're like the Weetos.
Oh, Cheetos.
No, the Weeto. They're like long and thin.
Knickknacks.
No, do love knickknacks. But they're like tubes,
flavour?
barbecue-y.
Tubes.
Yeah, they're like Weeto things.
Oh.
I used to have in my lunch all the time. Love a barbecue hula hoop.
No.
Big ones.
No. Oh, Brian's just completed a task. Well done, Brian.
I don't know. I've got loads. Skipped.
No, you cut through it.
What's it? McCoy's steak.
There is a little place in hell for those people at school that used to have the plain bag and then tip your own salt in.
I used to have them at some point. So at school, I don't know if you did this at school. It was a thing at my primary school where you just like go around the playground and all like swap one crisp. So then you'd have like a bag of multi-pack.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Literally, it was the best thing ever.
But really
you wouldn't swap with people who had shit crisps.
Yeah, like you wouldn't want to swap with somebody that's had to put their own salt in it.
I did like them though.
Yeah,
I like the salt and vinegar. When I say I love crisps, that is
I love chocolate. I don't love crisps like
I
you
love both. Hence why I'm the size I am. Anyway,
both size 8s.
6 actually.
Oh, sorry. Did you lose some weight?
Yeah.
It's all the stress from a house move.
Yeah. I've had a takeaway like literally every single night because we're trying not to.
We don't really do takeaways very often.
Yeah, but you're frugal. You go out. You're married to the man called frugal spender.
Right. I'd like to debunk this on Brian's behalf. The word frugal means intentional spending. We don't cut costs.
I thought it just meant tight.
I mean, it does mean that, but frugal spender is the spending
You're
bit.
so tight. You're so frugal.
No, we're not tight. We allocate money. So we spend £100 a month on family fun.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to buy clothes.
Oh no, I can buy clothes for my own money.
Yeah, but you can't buy like en masse.
Oh yeah, but I don't really like
and then
clothes.
Return and then.
Oh no. Because I won't return it. I can't. I've still got 2. If anybody would like to buy 2 green bridesmaid dresses, I still have them at home because I never took them back.
So fun fact about Georgie, she makes her friend order her clothes so that on Klarna.
Yeah. Well, no, on her credit card. I don't have a credit card.
You're not allowed one?
I just never have had one. I don't trust myself with one. I like to spend money that I've already earned. I don't want to be paying back stuff
Jack's
after.
like that. And do you know what? That is, the biggest thing is, this is so irrelevant, but Jack said to me something. He was like, there's no point looking rich if you're not rich.
I totally agree with that.
And that's the same with your wedding.
Yes, totally agree with that. Because people will sit there and be like, why are they lying?
Literally, the biggest pet peeve of mine is people can't afford us.
Yeah.
And then they still book us.
Yeah.
And then they're struggling.
Yeah.
And then I feel bad that we're chasing them for payments. But
Yeah.
you've committed to, you wouldn't miss your mortgage payment. You wouldn't miss your phone bill payment. You wouldn't miss, we cash flow forecast, right? Yeah. So if you're going to book a supplier, you have to adhere to their payment terms.
And you have to be able to afford it. Be
realistic.
Yeah. I agree.
And that's another bugbear of mine. And it just I don't like putting people in uncomfortable situations, and you've got to be sympathetic and empathetic. When you run a business,
you need the money.
We've got overheads, you know.
Such a cash cow. We went off topic. Right, crisps balls. Yes, okay. If they're on theme, we'll come on to extras. What?
Okay, well, no, I'll go.
Okay. We're on to main meal. So, would you require 3 courses?
But we haven't spoke about starter yet.
That's why I'm asking you first. If you'd require 3 courses.
Yeah.
Do you? See, I don't.
Actually, no. If you got like a beefy grazing board,
you don't remember the fact that we didn't have a starter.
No, yeah,
you just think I was full.
I was full. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'm not. I like a starter.
Some starters are fucking pointless, and you're like,
but also
what is
some
that?
are better than main courses.
Yeah, exactly that. How do you feel about like cold starters?
Yeah.
For me, I am really icky about like conferencey food, if that makes sense. Like, this sounds really bad, like pate and things like that. Yeah, but it's not done well.
Well, here's the thing though. This is what. So I feel like I have earned the right to talk about food. My background is catering from weddings. to be able to serve quickly, cold starters are the easiest thing because you get them ready, they're all on the side ready, and then bam, you go out and the service is quicker. If you start having fine dining, nicky picky, boiled quail's egg, all of that shit, the service is going to take longer.
Yep.
That's okay if that's what you want, but don't be picking that if you don't really care about food and you want to be dancing. So I don't mind cold starters. We went out for a meal.
I hate soup.
Oh, soup's really hard to serve as well.
Do you know, from a catering background, I remember when they were like, there's soup on the menu, I was like, fuck.
Because you can't carry 3 either, really,
No,
soup.
and it's really hot.
Yeah.
Because you have to make sure it's served hot.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't ruin like the rim on it, if that makes sense. Like,
you can't start
the chef will be like,
sliding.
presents it in a certain way and it gets signed off when you leave the kitchen. Like, I remember when I used to stand at the kitchen door and be like, go, that's good enough, that's go.
And people don't realise the amount of effort this behind the scenes for that food bit, because there's not really much happening, and then bam, everyone sits down and everything's got to be served quickly. It's all got to be perfect,
and there's never any fucking room.
No dietary requirements. I feel like this episode's gonna be longer than just one episode. Maybe we need 2 episodes on this.
And can I just say something?
Yeah.
If you are a wedding guest, sit in your fucking allocated seat.
Oh, and don't change the meal you picked, because we know you picked that.
Because from the back of house point of view, so how we used to do it was, we had a team of 5 and we all had 2 numbers, 1, 2, like hands 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So you'd be like, hand 1 is beef, hand 2 is chicken. So we walk to that table, we know where your number 2 and number 3 is sat on the table, and we place.
Yeah, don't even ask.
You can't then move your table and then be like, I'm a vegetarian, you're giving me chicken.
Yeah.
You fucking moved.
You'll eat the meat now. You made that decision.
But like, it ruins the whole process and service.
Yeah.
And caterers can slick their service, and a lot of them have.
Yeah.
But it's the guests that make it difficult.
A million percent. It's always the guests, and they will say, "Oh, it said I've got the chicken, but I think I ordered the lamb." And I'm like, "No, Susie, you're a fucking liar. I can see it. This is what it says.
Susie.
You're lying because you saw the chicken come out and you want that instead." I'd rather somebody say, is there more chicken? Yeah. Can I have one? And I'll say, do you know what? Let's get to the end and I'll have a look. No, you pick the lamb, you eat the fucking lamb.
There's nothing worse when the other meal looks better as well.
Yeah.
But Jack will always swap with me. He's good like that.
Yeah, vegetarian and meat doesn't really work. Okay, so Susie's sat in the right seat and she's actually going to deal with what she's been served. So we're saying it doesn't have to be 3 courses, but if you're going to do a starter, my advice is a quicker starter or shared. Love a meze shared stuff.
I'm guilty because I love, like, tapas is like my favourite food. I love tapas. But with the styling I've got planned on my table, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to do tapas.
Yeah, but why can't you have tapas already served?
So
it's not really tapas.
You've done it before, I think, at Rise Farm, where they had little sharing boards.
But each person?
Yeah, but it didn't fit on the charger plate.
Yes. I've also done one before where it was 4 quarter circle boards, and then they sit down on the table and they'd make a big circle around the middle of the centerpiece.
Love that. That's cool.
Loved it. It looked beautiful. But you just have to think about what your centerpiece is going to be.
I love caterers who actually think about how things look. Yes. Because there's some caterers out there that just don't.
Throw it on a plate, a shit plate as well.
More so like the water glass, the jug, and
like,
and
it's got a blue lid.
And it's just like, come on,
honey. Come on.
And like butter dishes and salt and pepper. Oh, I remember I was doing a wedding and Pat was like, Beth, take them salt and pepper parts off. I'm not taking a photo of them.
You can hide them. That looks great.
How many people actually use salt and pepper at a wedding?
Oh yeah, but there's nothing worse than not having salt and pepper at a wedding.
I've got certain people in my family that are like, where's the pepper? Where's the pepper?
Yeah, no.
I'm like, it didn't fit my vibe pan, and the food tastes enough as it is.
Yeah, it's you have to have it.
Okay.
You have to have salt and pepper. Sauces. Don't forget that if you're having like roast dinner, there'll be sauces going on the table. There's
so much fucking gravy that comes back on my tablecloth.
Saucehan.
No, I'm not saucehan.
Saucehan.
You wouldn't do it at home, so don't ruin it now.
I don't think they mean to. They're just messy.
Sloppy.
Salt and pepper, sauces. What did I say? So, like sides, all of that sort of stuff. You need to think about how much space you're leaving on these tables for this food. So food and styling do actually come hand in hand, despite what it seems like. So starters, something easy, something quick. I like interactive food. I like it when it's shared because the people have to talk to each other on the table.
I do and I don't.
The only thing I don't like is that I want 5 roast potatoes.
I was about to say that to you, and I want the best ones.
Yeah. I want to pick through it.
And I know Johnny, who sat next to me, who I've never met, is side-eyeing me like, what a fat bitch.
Yeah. I don't mind being the fat bitch. I'm okay with that. But then there's only 10 roast potatoes in and there's 10 people on the table. And I'm like, I'm not having one roast potato.
I am considerate in that sense, and I will always sacrifice that.
No, I can't.
And then
I
I'll
can't
be
eat
pissed
certain
off.
foods if they're not in ratio. I'm a bit weird with food.
Question.
Yeah.
When you eat, so you've got a meal.
A bit of everything.
Oh, you don't
On
go
every
one
mouthful.
by one?
No, absolutely not. There has to be every element. No, what's the point? It's made to go together.
Yeah, I don't. I'm one item.
That's vile. That's that.
Sorry.
Gross. That is the most offensive thing I've ever heard you say. This is why you get hate, Beth.
I had a client the other day. She was like, I nearly didn't book you because the friends comment. And I was like, Sultan, you need me though, don't you? And she was like, that was the only thing that gave me the ick about you. And I was like, but I still love you. And she's like, then I spoke to you. And then she was the one
who left the hate comment.
No, she booked me while she was drunk at Post Malone the other night. And they were sending me pictures of them with wine. I was like, you guys are you're my spirit animals.
Yeah,
I love you.
love it.
You guys are great. And literally she was like, your energy just spoke for itself. I was like,
nice.
because I genuinely actually am
Yeah,
interested in getting to know you. I was like, so how are we including Post Malone in the wedding? She's like, didn't you know he's coming? And I was like,
yay.
I was like, then I sent her a clip of the previous podcast 2 episodes ago, the Function Man one, where it was like, they couldn't afford food and they had to sell their car. I was like, this is you to get Post Malone. Anyway,
okay. So starter we've done. Main course. I like...
No, okay.
Sharing.
I've got another question.
What?
Starters.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm a bit
You're
coffee
right.
today. No. How do you feel? Some people do one of each. Same with dessert, they do this. So they have 50-50 and you get served what you want.
No, I don't want that. I just don't like...
I agree.
Okay. I don't think... Hold on. I'm trying to think about how we split this into 2 episodes when it's all about the same thing, because actually I want to talk about getting food choices, how to then give that information to the caterers, like all of it. So maybe next week's episodes we'll talk more about logistics of food. So let's focus more on food right now. Okay. So I personally don't like 50-50. I don't think it's really a thing. I haven't seen it.
We always used to do it for dessert where I used to work.
I'd be fuming.
No, it was like a chocolate and a fruit one.
Yeah, and what? And I have to have the fruit one and the person next to me gets chocolate?
Yeah, and then
absolutely, categorically not.
Swap between yourselves.
No.
But that was the request of the bride and groom.
Yeah, don't like it.
Or the couple.
I love a trio of desserts.
Oh, trios. If you're going to do it. Oh. But can I ask, if you need a fucking teaspoon, let me know.
Lemon possets.
Because there's nothing worse than someone going... Because I would do that to get the lemon posset.
Yeah, I would too. Or my finger. Why is that worse than a tongue?
Because your finger's been like near the bathroom.
Where's your tongue been? Yeah, so love a trio of desserts. I also really like, and you're going to hate it because it's not going to be good for your styling, but I like, and it's maybe a bit 2019, but I'm still there, is the carving at the table. Only because I feel like it gives an atmosphere, and the noise in that room is hilarious. Like, it's loud and good. How do you feel about it?
No.
I just like when people have to... I don't like when it's just plated and you just
basically getting someone to fucking put an apron on and a chef hat and making somebody on the table carve the thing. Do you know what's even worse? It's on the place setting when we have the photos, and I've seen it before, and I've done the most beautiful wedding, and then there's a fucking apron.
Oh, okay.
But I do like...
I just like entertainment.
I like the theory behind it. Like,
Yeah.
I really do. Like, and when it first came out, I was like, this is really cool.
Yes, it is a little bit
but
more
it was
done now.
still when I was wedding coordinating, which was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That wasn't 10 years ago. 5 years ago.
So I do like it. And again, if it fits the vibe, like if you whacked out an apron and a hat at your wedding, I'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
No, I'm not making it. I would want a private chef to come over and personally carve me vegetables.
Exactly. And this is what I mean. It's all about the vibe. All about the vibe and the style and how you want it, if you want it relaxed. Like, for me, like, my wedding breakfast, I want very dinner party. Yeah. Dinner party.
Hosting. Yeah.
Like, that is what I want my thing to be like. But someone whacking out a hat and apron, it's just not for me. But, like, I do love the idea.
Yeah, okay.
It's just not for me.
That's fine.
And everyone on TikTok, like, wow, no one cares about your opinion.
No one cares about your wedding. They won't. We've got our listeners are 50-50.
I didn't drink that hot chocolate you got me.
I know, it's cold out there now. If it helps, it was rubbish.
Warm it up in the microwave.
Shout out McDonald's. It wasn't a good. I went to Kibu.
I
for
love
Brian's birthday.
Kibu.
It was really nice, but again, the starter was nicer than the main. But I feel like wedding starters aren't better than mains.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm like this, but my voice is like this, and we're gonna roll with it.
Okay.
I think starters are always better than mains.
But when you go out for like for a meal, not at a wedding.
At a wedding, starters are always better than mains.
No.
Because the amount of times I've had dry fucking meat at my wedding.
You should
not
be
my
vegetarian.
Wedding. No, but dry meat. And I do agree with this, which you may not agree. If you want a quick service, have a fully vegetarian starter.
I do 100% agree with that. It's easier, but can I, as a vegetarian, can I just say two things?
Oh, it's not fair on me because everyone's got to eat my special food.
No, special. I'm gonna direct you to the camera. As a vegetarian, first things first, I don't want the vegan one. Fair. I like cheese. I like milk. I like chocolate. Don't give me the vegan stuff. That's not fair. Second of all, hold on, let me remember what my second one was.
But you've got to appreciate it from a catering point of view.
Fuck the caterers. There's one
vegetarian vegan goes together.
No, I want goat's cheese arancini.
You've then got 3 choices.
No. We'll go on to that on next week's episode. Okay. You don't give out the choices. You're either dietary or you're not. You're either vegetarian or meat.
Yeah, but then you've got vegetarian, vegan, meat.
Do you want to eat?
So that's why you do veggie and vegan then, maybe.
Yeah, I like cheese. I like the stuff, and don't give me a vegan dessert. That's not fair.
Fruit.
I don't want fruit. And my second point for vegetarian is just because we're vegetarian doesn't mean we don't like carbs. Oh, how many times I get given like a cauliflower and I'm like, cool, I don't mind that, but where's the potato? Why does she have a fondant potato? I want a fondant potato. They do like
I hate it when you don't
vegetables.
You don't get a dauphinoise.
I want a dauphinoise. I can have the cream. I can have the cheese. Just give me a potato. Just a potato. I'm a carb slut. A potato-hoe, if you will.
It was that wheeze then. You're like okay, right.
They're my bugbears. Carry on.
So, mains. Let's go to mains.
Okay. I think, again, this is a great opportunity in a wedding to showcase you guys. Don't have a roast dinner if you got engaged in Italy. Have Italian food. Don't have a roast dinner if you guys love Mexican stuff. Do that. Like, do you know what I mean? It can be interesting.
How do you feel about steak for a main course?
Oh, it's risky that. Don't do that.
We went to Jack's brother's wedding. We all had steak. And let me tell you, it was fucking delicious.
Was it? But it's such a risk.
Like, it was like spot on. Like,
really?
pucker. And I was like, oh, I wouldn't really do it. Honestly.
How many people?
100.
Ooh.
Like,
hotel?
Wedding venue.
In-house caterers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But, the food was like, they had like 5 courses, I think, 4 courses. Food was just
spot on.
And like, that made me think, cool. But then you go wrong with steak in a restaurant. Jesus
but also,
Christ.
I wonder if everybody felt the same way. They obviously cooked it how you like it, but what about the people that don't like it so rare?
They ask you.
No.
Yeah.
How the hell did they do that? How long did service take?
So we had, we either had to give it on our choice menu, like when we did our thingy.
That must have cost them a bomb.
Or I feel like someone came to the table and was like, how would you like your steak?
No way. I'm highly impressed with that.
Yeah, it was mega.
Yeah, I mean, I've done steak weddings
and I
before.
wouldn't say it was like, don't get me wrong, it was beautiful. It must have cost a lot of money. Like,
yeah.
The wedding would have cost a lot of money. But it wasn't like the Savoy or you know, it wasn't.
Why? I would worry. That would keep me up at night thinking about it.
It was like so good. And then we had like pork belly, and it was like, it was just like I can't remember what it was, but it's like pork belly, steak, dessert, and it's 4 courses, and it was every single course was spot on.
Okay, interesting.
I do think bad food can ruin a wedding. Not ruin a wedding, but it's like people will be hungry after if the food's shit, you know?
Well, what's worse? Not enough food or bad food?
Not enough food.
Yeah, me, I agree. Me
but
agree.
I'm the type of person that would still eat shit food. So
Same.
I'm hungry.
I totally agree.
I hungry.
Feed me.
We the potato-hoes.
Okay, going on to we've got so much more. We'll do more on the other episode because I want to talk about outside caterers as well. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to wait a week for this after. Dessert then. What do you have to have a dessert?
So there's 2 options. People either do their cake as dessert.
Yeah.
Which I'm not mad on.
I don't like it.
But I'm okay with it actually because cake doesn't really get eaten.
Okay, fair. Can I give 3 tips for cake as dessert though? Okay. Number 1 is you have got to order enough cake for everybody. You can't cut costs and corners.
And not finger slices. Like if you're doing cake for dessert,
yes,
it's fucking good portion. I swore loads in this episode.
It's okay. We're there. It's fucking good. You want a fucking slice of cake. I don't want a finger of cake.
I want a beefy. Isn't this good that you're talking to people that like food?
Yeah. I'm hungry now thinking about it.
What's for lunch?
I've got noodles.
Ugh, boring.
Anyway, tip 2 for cakes as dessert. You need to think about the flavours that you go for, because typically top table might get a little bit of each tier. Everyone else will just get one flavour, because you can't do a little bit of each for everybody. Otherwise you've got weird little slithers of cake everywhere.
Slithers. I hate that word.
So you need to be kind of a bit careful on the flavours you're doing. And tip number 3 is don't forget your dietary requirements.
Yes.
If you got vegans, gluten-free, you need to have options
nut allergy
for them.
Nut allergy is really important for cake.
Eggs, like all of that sort of thing. You need to have an alternative so that when everybody gets taken out their plates of cake, they actually get something.
Just have a separate cake in the back. Doesn't have to be decorated.
No dairy, no chocolate, no butter.
Nothing.
No good. Get rid of it.
Oh no! I've
it's a Friends quote, Beth.
Oh,
God's sake. Anyway, but I don't hate cake being dessert, but also you need to think about.
I do think if you're having cake for dessert, you need to put some cream or like ice cream.
Cream, berries, but also don't think it's going to be cheaper, because your caterers will still charge you for the crockery, the cream, the berries, and the service. Alternatively, you could have it all cut up. So if you cut your cake when you come in, have it taken away, cut up and put on boards, you could then, people could leave the room and go and have tea, coffee, cake
buffet,
little cake buffet,
cake station.
But I, as a sweet tooth person, I want something sweet. I don't like it when people are like, we're not doing dessert because we don't really like dessert, and I'm like, I like dessert.
My body doesn't function after a savoury meal. I need something sweet.
Midway through my main course, I'll be thinking, oh, what's for dessert? Because I know it. I want it. I have to have it. Yeah.
How do you feel about like dessert stations?
Love it.
How do you feel about sweet stations? How do you feel about chocolate fountains?
Ooh, I do like chocolate.
This is my problem. I fucking love chocolate.
But it's just
I'd literally have my mouth under a chocolate fountain. But it's so 2000s.
Yeah, it's just not pretty, is it?
No.
I've seen a nice popcorn machine.
Chocolate fountains used to be the rage.
Yeah. That was back in the day, wasn't it?
Back in when I first started, it was chocolate fountain. And I loved it because I used to get some.
Put with tongue under it. Yeah, I just like dessert, and I like chocolate. And the only reason I get sad when people have cake as dessert is because I know that 9 p.m. me wants some cake.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'd rather have a dessert, even if it's just something little.
So my tip would be then, is do what you want for dessert, but people do like sweet tarts and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of sweet tarts. Don't do a sweet tart if you're coming to my wedding. Massive fan of sweets. Like Jack loves sweets. That's his thing.
I like a sweet tart.
But what I would do is hold some back, because what happens is everyone's really hungry after the ceremony, demolishes the sweets, or the kids demolish the sweets. So like you said, when we need that little sugar fix in the evening, we haven't got it.
Okay.
Or the evening food needs to be sweet and savoury.
Fair.
Like you need some sugar kick.
Yes.
Or have a Baileys.
I fucking hate Baileys.
I love Baileys.
I think sweet stuff okay, so that brings me on to my next question. How much people pleasing do you need to do? Should you pick whatever you want, whatever you like, and people, it's a free meal, suck it and see?
I'm quite selfish, and I do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Okay, so my next thing is, I've done weddings before where they've had like all salmon. That to me is a risky choice.
Oh yeah, like I think, if I'm being honest, like we like our food, but we're not exquisite.
I'm
like,
quite fussy. I'm very fussy.
Like I would. It sounds like I said I'm quite selfish. No, I would do enough variation without bending my back over to please everybody. There's 3 options. Like for a main, I'd probably do a chicken, a beef, and a fish.
No. You can't do that, because you've got a chicken, beef, fish, veggie, vegan, gluten-free, dairy. You can only have, catering wise, typically you can have 2 choices and then a veggie.
Yeah, fine. That's what I do then.
Chicken, beef, veggie.
Yeah, fine.
Bit boring though, isn't it?
But so for the veggies for your main course, they got served something separate, didn't they?
Well, our stuff all came out
sharing.
So 60% of it was all vegetarian.
No, but they did get something
and
separate.
Then they got, where you got meats, they got falafel-y stuff.
Yeah, and I had one of them. They're lovely.
That's okay. You can share, as long as the people that were vegetarian had it as well. But we didn't have any vegans, and we just had a nut allergy, so it wasn't that bad our end. And then the people that were gluten and dairy didn't come in the end.
So how do you feel about if the bride and groom were vegans and they made all the food vegan?
I am doing next year an entirely vegan menu.
Nice.
So when I'm doing planning for them, and they were like, want to do a full vegan menu. My initial gut reaction is, oh fuck, don't do that. And then when we started talking about it, they were like, we want to showcase that vegan food is good. It has to be banging. It can't just be vegan like food. It needs to be bloody good, proper vegan, because it's not the same anymore.
I think it would be weird if you went to a couple who are vegans wedding and you didn't have vegan food.
Beef everywhere.
Yeah, like I think that's not right.
Yeah. I just think they're so right for saying, we want to do it, we're going to do it properly, and we want to showcase proper. We want to showcase that vegan food can be good. So nice. I'm now fully on board with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Brian did not want to do a vegetarian meal for our wedding.
Yeah, but Brian's a meat eater.
Brian's South African.
That's why you've got
to eat the meat. Yeah, no. He's good South African accent, eh? Good, yeah. Ekkes by a hunger. That means I am very hungry.
Do they say brew?
Brew. Yeah, brew.
Brew, get me a beer.
Why is he American?
I don't know.
Anyway, quickly to finish the food one, and then we'll carry on.
Yeah.
God's sake.
Brew. Sick brew. Sick cuzzy. That's Aussie.
God's sake. Brian only taught me I am hungry, I love you, and a really rude word in South African. That's all I know.
Tell me the rude word.
No, I'm not allowed to say it. You can't say it.
What word is it?
It's really rude.
How rude?
Like rude enough that his mum would ring me and tell me off. Right, we've got to finish this up. We went on too long. I knew this food one would be a big one. We'll do evening food, dietary requirements and stuff like that, how to give all this information in, and some more tips on next week's episode. But quick fire, is evening food a must?
Yes.
What do you want?
Stodge.
What time?
10.
Midnight snacks?
No.
Okay. Right. Bitches from a bride. Ready? I'm having a bit of a nightmare with one of my bridesmaids. I knew from day one she didn't have a lot of money, so I sat her down and told her the rough budget I was setting for bridesmaids and said, if you can't afford this, you still mean the world to me and it's okay for you to say no. She said yes. Since then, I've had to cover her for everything. Her dress, her room, which she didn't need to have, my own hen do, which I had to plan, by the way, and various other parts of the wedding. My wedding is September. Is it too late to ask her to not be a bridesmaid, or do I need to grin and bear it?
Grin and bear it.
Do you reckon?
I personally think if I had a bridesmaid who I really wanted as a bridesmaid and I knew she financially couldn't commit to it, even despite having the conversation.
But why would you say yes to it?
I'd still put my hand in my pocket to make sure she is a bridesmaid for you. Like, if she can do things that aren't monetary value, for example, be there for you, be a voice, be good.
Maybe it depends on how good of a bridesmaid she is being. It's just, but why is it fair on the other bridesmaids?
But they don't need to know that. Like, it's...
No.
Do you know what I mean? If one of your bridesmaids who you've been friends with for years and couldn't afford it, you'd still want her to be a bridesmaid.
Yeah. I mean, Isla didn't pay for anything.
Exactly. No, and I also think she's like, which I had to plan, by the way. Where were all your other bridesmaids?
Maybe she's only having that one. I don't know. It's difficult. Money is so difficult. Money is just awkward, isn't it? It makes me sad for people.
But I get it. It depends. It depends if she's being good as a human being.
Yes, fair.
Monetary shouldn't matter.
Okay.
Genuine comment. Like, good friends are hard to come by.
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah.
Talk.
I'd rather have real friends and pay for them than fake friends and
they
pay and they actually be snidey.
So I guess putting all money things aside, how good has she been as a bridesmaid?
And appreciative.
Yes, appreciative and emotionally supportive and blah, blah, blah. If she's ticking all those boxes, then you grin and bear it. If she's done nothing, and like, because you also get bridesmaids that would come to everything and pay for everything and do all of it, but not actually like there. Yeah.
Or like...
It's jealous, really.
But also, it's kind of too late now, I think.
Yeah,
you've paid for the dress, you've done that.
Yeah, true. You're in this deep.
More ag than it's worth.
True. Okay.
Unfortunately.
Tip jar.
2 songs for aisle entrance.
Oh, okay. Okay. I get asked this a lot. So the 2 songs for an entrance bit means, do you have a different song for your bridal party walking in and then a different song for you to then come into? Logistically, I always try and tell couples to not worry too much about what part of the song they want to enter. There's some occasions where it can work and things like that, but if there's a certain point of the song that you want to enter into, it's got to be later in the song, because your bridesmaid might take longer to walk down the aisle. The door might not open straight away easily. Like there's so many things. I don't want somebody to get there being like, be sad that they didn't come in at the right bit. But you need to think about how long the aisle is, how many bridesmaids you got. Are they going down individually or are they going down in groups? Who's walking you down the aisle? Are you walking slow? Are you walking fast? Blah, 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 blah. So it's more of a like, do you want a different kind of entrance? Do you want your bridal party to go in, be all in there? And then there's that moment of the song changing. Don't forget about that little bit where the song has to change because it'll have to fade and then fade back up and then you enter. Would you have 2 songs?
No.
1 song.
I think it feels too choppy.
Yeah.
Like, you know when you like skip a disc?
How often do you skip a disc?
But like you wouldn't play the first song fully.
Yeah.
And then you get to the chorus and like fade out, fade in.
It's going to depend if you've got like loads of bridesmaids.
DJ-y, you know, like shit mixing.
I would rather. So I've got a bride this year who the song, the bit she wants to come into is where the song kind of comes up a bit and it's being played live. So I've told her to get them to redo the verse bit a couple of times and then start the chorus so that she's got time for all the other bridesmaids and things to go down first. So if you've got live music, you've got a lot more choice on what happens.
Yeah, live music they can adapt and adjust, and between the 2 songs they could kind of like,
and they can change into a different song.
Yeah, I do agree with the fact that people want to walk down at a certain point, you know, where it picks up. Yeah, but you've got to be realistic with, if you've got like 5 seconds to play with, it's not going to happen. And how do I say this nicely? Only you guys care about what song you're walking down the aisle to. Nobody. Did you walk down to a certain bit? Not really. Did you want to? I was aiming for the bit where it, what is it? I was aiming for the chorusy bit, but I couldn't tell you if we did it or not. I have no idea because I wanted that song playing. Nobody else cares. No, I can't even remember what song you had. Friends theme tune. Oh yeah. Oh, I did know that. You did know, but you only know that because I was already like in the. I was just like, that's what I mean. Like I was like, oh my gosh. Then I saw Isla, then I was like, fucking done. Of the 80 weddings I did last year, I couldn't match up what song who had, and that was not because I don't care, but it's because it doesn't mean as much to other people as it does to you. Yeah, fair. So maybe consider that when you're overthinking what bit to walk down on, is that nobody's hearing it. They're looking at how amazing you look. Yeah, I just think that people just remember the feeling, not the song and the moment in the song you walk down in. I agree. Right, we better film second part of this episode. Second part. If you guys have got foodie questions and things, fire them over to us and we will maybe answer them on the live when we do another Instagram live. Live every first Monday of the month. Yes. On TikTok or Instagram. Yeah, I feel like we'll switch between the 2. Okay, cool. Right, that was a good episode. Let's carry on with the next bit. I'm hungry. Can I go eat? Yes. Okay, bye. Bye.